city. DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast. Dre and Willsy is the one. Let's get it. Yeah. Who with me? Let's get it. Yeah. No with me. Yeah. I'm from the city. DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast. Dre and Willsy is the one.
He the one, nigga.
So let's get it,
baby. He the one.
With me. So,
yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on the wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome back, you guys, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? Appreciate you guys joining me back here for the podcast, man. It's going to be a good one. For real, man. Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, man. For real. But definitely good morning to everybody who's joining me this Wednesday here on EB Radio. Yes, man. Shout out to everybody who's listening and for everybody who's watching on YouTube, man. It's going to be a great show, man. For everybody who's new to the 1130 podcast, sit tight. And if you're new to the 1130 podcast, subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. Get it? Yes. Like it, leave a comment, and do all that good stuff. And also, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, man, like I said, man, I'm back here with another exciting episode for the books, man. It's going to be a great one. I got a cool guest, you guys, lined up this week, coming from the West Coast, you guys. Yes, her name is Helen. She's a podcast personality, you guys, right here on EB Radio. Yes, her podcast is called the Honestlyhelen Podcast, where it comes each and every Monday, you guys, 9 a.m., 12 noon, you guys. She's going to be joining me here, chopping it up on the podcast this week, man. It's going to be fun, man, for real. But we're not going to waste no time, for real. We're not going to waste no time, you guys. We're going to get into the show. Helen, how's it going?
It's going, Dre. It's going. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm excited. To go and get us going. So thank you again.
No problem. I appreciate you, being available and, coming on the show. Like I'm saying before, shout out to Barcane Bar for, connecting, together and, doing this whole thing. I enjoy it since I've been podcasting. I checked your podcast out. I dig it. Honestly, Helen, you've been podcasting like 2 months before me. So I was like, that's dope. So I'm going on like a year and a half now. How's your day going?
The day's going good. I started a little rough. Family stuff came up, but you know what we do with that? We shake it off. We get back to it. So I don't know if you saw, but I got me a little wine, sipping on some wine. Listened to some music earlier, shook it off, and here we are. So after this, I'm hoping I think we're gonna go get some pressed juice, walk around, taking this Cali sun, and keep these vibes high because we ain't got time for nothing else.
Hey, that's right. I like your vibe. I really do. You just talk about the West Coast and Cali. How is it over there?
Cali, okay, let me say, I actually am from Florida. Well, my dad probably beat me up if I said that. I was born in California, but I was raised in Florida. So coming from Florida to the West Coast has been definitely different. Being in Florida, used to always hear people say, oh, California's the best. We got this. And me being a Floridian, I was like, the West Coast hyped up. Everybody want to be over there. It's not that deep. But the West Coast is dope. The food is good. The weather is good. The people are cool. There's always something to do, which is what I really, really enjoy. Like whether there's an event going on at a park, whether there's something happening at a bar, but there's literally always something to do if you are looking for it. So I'm Team West Coast. It's a little expensive out here, as I'm sure you know. But other than that, I enjoy it.
Okay, that's what's up. I heard the Cali life and the West Coast life is pretty expensive. Never been though. Would love to though. But how's the weather there? Is it hot?
It's not hot, but it can get hot, but it's normally a nice little breeze. For the most part though, it stays around 70, 64. I think it really only gets hot in the summer. And if you're not from Cali, I think it got to 86 a few weeks ago, and everybody was tripping. And I was like, it's not that hot, y'all. Like in Florida, it's 98, 100. Like we used to it. Yeah. So it don't get hot, but a real West Coast person gonna tell you if it's anything above 70, it's probably hot. Yeah. I don't think it'd be hot. It'd be cool.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm really not a winter or fall type of guy. I really enjoy that type of weather right there because, living in DC, of course, you got to experience all 4 seasons. And I hear either in Miami or Florida or living on the West Coast, it's pretty warm and stuff like that. How you get from, Miami to the West Coast, to Cali?
Well, so I was born in San Francisco, and then once I graduated from college and I went to UNF in Jacksonville, I was tired of Jacksonville. So my dad has always been in California. He's been in the same house when I was born. So I just was like, yo, you ready for me to move back home? So I moved back, and then I just decided I wanted to change in scenery. And I've always been a type of person where I love doing things. I don't have to do it with somebody else. And so my sister had already moved back, and I was really close with her. And although I had all my friends in my family in Florida, I'd never been to Cali. So I said, why not move to a state where at least you have family, so I won't be a fish out of water, might as well be California. So here we are. I haven't left since.
Hey, that's what's up. That's cool. Like I said, I got to make a trip out there to Cali.
You do.
What's
I always say visit. You don't need to live here though, Dre. You can visit, and I promise you'll get the same experience without breaking your pockets. Visit.
Okay, I will. I would do that though. What's some of the biggest difference from living over there on the West Coast then versus here on the East?
Florida? Biggest difference, definitely the food. I believe the West Coast just has so many different types of cuisine. So I really got into Thai food out here. There's so many different restaurants for Thai food. Then they have Ethiopian food. They have African food. So like Jacksonville does not have, or if they do have it, you got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to really know where they at. So really just having so many different food options has been, I think, the biggest difference I've enjoyed, because I think all of us like food. So it's been nice to experience different cultures through the food. And I want to say the closeness of everything. So you literally can walk. You can walk anywhere essentially. And their transportation system. So their public transportation system is dope, nasty, not clean, but it's effective and it gets you where you need to go. It kind of reminds me of like New York, how literally you can just take a subway or something. The West Coast, San Francisco reminds me a lot of like that. So the food and definitely the transportation, because I remember growing up in Florida, we would have to walk an hour to the bus stop and then another hour to catch another bus to get to where we was going. And that's 2 hours out your day just to get to point A. So yeah, no, I definitely enjoy the food and the ease of transportation on the West Coast for sure. San Francisco, not LA.
Okay. So you was just like, man, I got to get up out of here. The food ain't pretty good, huh?
That, and there's not, I don't know if it's just Jacksonville, because I'm starting to learn that most of us, and when we grow up when we live where we grow up, we think it's boring. Like we don't see the novelty. And because I have a girlfriend who's in Hawaii, and she is like, ugh, Hawaii's overrated. And I'm like, you live in Hawaii. What do you mean it's overrated? So I feel like there's nothing to do in Jacksonville just because I grew up there, and all I really did was go to the mall, bowling, the skating ring. And that was about it, because we didn't have a car. So I couldn't go to other cities in Florida. So I just was over it. And everybody in Jacksonville is it kind of has a crab in a barrel mentality. So if you don't have goals, it's very easy to get stuck in Jacksonville. So
okay,
we ain't got time.
I feel you on that though. But we're gonna move on. You guys here on the podcast. Once again, Helen, thank you for joining me on the podcast. I also mentioned you just joined the EB Radio family. How has it been since joining EB Radio?
I love it. I absolutely love Bar. I feel so fortunate to be a part of the EB Radio family now. Case in point, being able to be on the 1130 podcast, I never would have even reached out to you because I wouldn't have known you existed. Mm-hmm. But I was listening to EB Radio. I heard your podcast. I was like, okay, this is dope. I feel the vibe. So I'm really excited to see where EB takes EB Radio. So I'm loving it. I'm super grateful for the opportunity. Love it here. Yeah,
me too. I was super stoked, when Bar reached out to me. So I was just like, look, I think we all kind of like at the beginning, kind of like, second guess of it. But when, things go on, hey, it all work out for the best. But like you said, you here on EB Radio with the Honestlyhelen Podcast. I dig it. It's dope. Tell everybody about the podcast.
I appreciate you, Dre. Yes. So the Honestlyhelen Podcast is my podcast that is also on EB Radio. And it really came about, I actually have an Instagram page called Honestlyhelen first before I had the podcast. And I will make videos on that, really just talking my trash, ranting, going on my little spiels. And people were telling me like, dude, you should have a podcast. You should have a podcast. And I was like, anybody got time to do a podcast? Like, nobody got time for this stuff. And then when the pandemic hit, my cousin, who's in IT, he was like on some real talk, Helen, like the pandemic is forcing people to entertain themselves differently. Mm-hmm. And podcasts is starting to get really popular. So in probably a few years, that's where the money's going to be. And I said, hold up now. You said money. You could have started with money. What you mean? And so he really convinced me to go ahead and get in the podcast game before it became oversaturated. I mean, it's already getting oversaturated, but before it came too saturated, like at least hop on that wave before, at least people could notice who I was. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. And I'm the type of person, once I say I'm going to do something, I don't wait. So I think I talked to him early October and I launched my podcast November 1st. And I had no idea what I was doing. My first episode, I ended up recording over the Zoom time limit and it cut off my conversation. And then I had to like explain to the people, my bad. And I just realized that that's what happened. So the podcast is really just a place where I want to have real conversations with people. I'm a very transparent type of person. I don't believe there's any topic that we shouldn't talk about as long as you're respectful with the conversation, as long as you appreciate someone else's opinion for that. It's their opinion, so it's a different view. So I talk about anything, something as small as friendships to something as big as my first episode with sexual trauma. As long as someone's willing to talk about it, then let's do it. So I don't got no big wigs on there. I'm not networking with anybody that has connections. I just use the people I know. I use my network because I feel like a lot of us always feel like we have something we want to say, but sometimes we don't have the platform to say it. So I feel like my podcast can kind of serve as that, like everyday folk. I don't think I'm somebody special, but people listen to me. So I want to give that same respect to other people in my life that, sometimes they drop gems and I'm like, you know what? Somebody needs to hear this besides me and you. So here we are. That's been it.
Exactly. I was listening. I feel you on that because I talked about on my documentary how I struggled, with myself for a long time, just trying to put the pieces together to do what I want to do. Just knowing I want to do it, but it was hard. It was like I just know, like I said, I just knew what I want to do, but just couldn't do it. On your podcast, you talk about like you love to talk, and that's how you started the podcast. So that's what it's all about. Giving your perspective and your point of view and stuff like that. On your podcast and on social media, you talk about you just say a lot. Be blagical. Tell people what does that mean?
Yes. Oh, thank you for that. So Be Blagical actually, it's kind of funny because it came out. When did I want to say I created in 2018 or 17. And it was similar to what we've been going through with Blacks in America, where Black people just felt like we weren't being seen, weren't being heard. We were going through some BS, I'm pretty sure, in the news. I just remember being another time similar to when the George Floyd happened, just being similar in that space. And I was like, Black people are magic. And I was like, oh, we blagical. And then it just stuck from there. So it really came from me wanting to enforce that Black people are magic. And then when I started talking more, I wanted it to be that if you kind of align with what I align with, so transparency, we respect other people's opinions, we're open, we are accountable. So I'm also being mindful that people are going to tell some things about you that you might not like, but you really need to sit and listen and take accountability for what they're saying about you. Although you may not feel like it, accountability is a big thing. So then I was like, well, I want Blagical to also encompass those traits. So I want you to watch my videos, listen to my podcast, and be like, I want to embody what Helen is, which is Blagical. So it's being open, it's being transparent, it's being loving, it's not being judgmental. Or if you are judging somebody, keep it to yourself. I know we all have something to say about something, but it don't always need to be said out loud. You can talk about somebody to yourself and nobody even got to know you're doing it. So it originally and will always start from Black people being magical. So Black people are Blagical because we melanated, we underdogs, and we always come out on top. Bigger picture, if you are a decent person, if you're an open, honest person, you also are Blagical, even if you aren't Black. So long-winded answer, I think.
It's a cool answer. I really dig that. That's really cool because, Black America has been through a lot, especially over the last year, throughout this whole pandemic and stuff. You're very honest on your podcast.
Yes.
Very, very honest. Are you married?
I am basically married. Have been with my boyfriend for 4 years, and he is definitely my soulmate. So not officially, but I ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Do you think people take marriage seriously these days?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay.
I think in 2021, marriage is more just to say you got it. Kind of like how a lot of our artists buy all these Birkin bags. You got 15 Birkin bags for what? To say you got it. So I think marriage now is there to say, oh, yeah, I'm married.
Just to say,
okay, you want a cookie? Like I don't think it's too many. It's too many people I know that cheat while married. It's too many people I know that are flirting. And I mean, like, maybe not sleeping, but literally taking the time out your day to hit up some random girl you see on Instagram. You married. That's not your business. Mm-hmm. So I just know too many people personally. And what you see in the media, I don't. Do you, Dre? Do you think they take it seriously?
No, I don't. No, I really don't. I really don't think marriage is just something, a lot of people just throw around. And then, when you get into it 2 years or 6 months in it, because, some people just, meet each other off the fly and just be like, yeah, I'm ready to spend the rest of my life with this person. How could you? Tell me.
Dre, listen, you just said something right there, because me and my boyfriend we just moved in together, and it went on a year. And I tell my friends all the time, I was like, there's no way I could have married this man without living with him. And then I start thinking, do you know how many people out here really just getting married before they live together? And then you confuse why it's not. There's so much you don't know about a person until you live with them. So, it's people really are dating like, oh, well, we get along, the chemistry's good. Maybe the sex is good. Let's get married. Ain't never been in a room more than 24 hours together, but you want to spend the rest of your life with this person?
And I think that's why last year, or maybe continuing this year, that all the divorce rates and everything was so far through the roof, because a lot of people probably didn't spend more than maybe 20, 30 minutes or an hour with their significant other in the same house. Then you got the kids running around. We both, like, you hungry, 100%. I'm hungry. I don't want to cook, but you want like, what's going on? Like,
yes. Somebody had said that the pandemic and the divorce rates, you could tell that the pandemic caused it because a lot of people would use work to run away from their marriage, or would use, their hobbies to get away from their family. And then the pandemic came, it's like, psych, you got to sit down somewhere. You got to be in these people's face for X amount of hours. And then you realize that you don't even like your spouse. Like, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, very is though. I wouldn't want to be like that, working, 7 days or 5 days out of a week just to come home. But for it to take a pandemic to realize, I don't really like you like that. You got to like a person before you can really love them, so come on.
You would think, right? You would think.
Yeah, I know. It's 2021. Things work real crazy nowadays.
Real crazy. It's not even, I was just telling somebody, I don't even, men and women are so much different than just 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even adult enough to know what men and women were doing 10 years ago, but I know it's different.
Speaking of different, you just hit it on the nail. It's so different. Would you propose to your man is what I'm saying.
Oh, would I propose to my man?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, okay, because with everything going on around here with the pictures surrounding with the woman who was down on her knee proposing to her man, like what era are we in now?
Dre, it's so funny you said that, because I actually asked that a few weeks ago on my Instagram if people would be down for their girl proposing to them. And now we're in this age where we're dealing with the expansion of the LGBTQ community. So I feel like with the expansion of that has really, it's basically like erased some lines for, I want to say, borders or traditions. It's kind of erased like some tradition lines, because of the feedback that I got on that question. When I asked people, they were like, if that's what they want to do, let's do it. Like, let's not worry about if a man does it or if a woman does it. And that's totally fine. I do respect that. Mm-hmm. What floats your boat, you should keep letting it float it.
Exactly.
For me though, no, I'm not getting on one knee to propose to my man. I would love for him to do that. And if he never does it, then he never does it. Or I'm gonna be like, hey, we get married, like, you gonna propose at some point? Because I'm not getting down. Like, this is not one of us gonna do it. No, sir, it's you. Okay. It's you or not.
Okay. If you've been in a relationship, man, say 6 years or so, you've been waiting for this guy to propose to you, but he didn't. And you love him, he loved you, but you just don't know. You just don't know if it's, going to go anywhere. Or you just don't know if he's going to propose to you. But would you do it first? Would you just propose to him, out of, I guess, kind of worried that he may not pop the question?
No, not at all. So I'm not a settler, and that sounds like settling. So if we've been together for 6 years and you still haven't proposed, I think then I would have to take internal stock and be like, okay, if this man hasn't proposed yet, what am I waiting on? Because I know what I bring to the table. So I'm not gonna propose to you, because then that's like me forcing you to be with me. If you don't want to be here, I'm not gonna reverse and be like, hey, you want to marry me? No, I would have a conversation, but I definitely no.
Yeah,
we gonna be dating forever then.
Yeah, I say the same thing with my fiance, man. I wouldn't dare let you. I wouldn't dare let you get on one knee to propose to me. So that's just crazy. Like the roles are really reversed nowadays. Like women taking out the trash, women cutting their own grass. Like what's going on?
It's a different world. It's a different world, and I think I'm okay with it changing. I think my issue I start to get is when people, again, going back to me just being transparent and being open to people, is that when people try and push that agenda on it. So when I asked that question, somebody kind of felt offended. It was like, well, why can't a woman propose to a man? Like you're like enforcing gender roles. I'm not enforcing anything. But if I believe my man should propose to me, you can't make me feel bad for that. You can't say, oh, well, you're conforming to the narrative that men have to do this. Well, let me conform to it. It's not hurting you. So my issue is when people start to try and attack you for you wanting your wife to stay home. If your wife is okay with staying home and you working, then let her stay home. I don't need you coming in here trying to tell me my wife should be working because it's 2021.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You so right about that. So right about that. But you guys, man, we're going to move on here on the 1130 podcast, you guys. Just past a couple of days ago, Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22 years of the cop who killed George Floyd. Did he deserve, did he get the right amount of years, 22 years? I thought he was going to get life.
For sure. I think he should have got the death penalty, to be honest. I don't, and this is what I think America, I really want to talk about white America though, needs to understand is that if you look at any two charges of a black person and a white person, and I mean literally same exact charge. I just saw this yesterday of a black woman and a white woman getting pulled over for drunk driving. The white, literally they got pulled over, I think 20 minutes apart because they had the timestamp. The white girl's bond was $4,000. The black girl's bond was $40,000. So what I need America to realize is that black crimes are always taxed higher. Always. If Derek Chauvin would have been a black Derek Chauvin, my man would have got life. My man would have been fighting to not get the death penalty. And that's the crazy part, is that people are sitting here acting like, oh, he got what he did. No, because y'all not going to sit here and tell me if that was a black man that killed a little white boy, he would get 22 years. We all know that's not happening. So Derek should have got the needle, the chair, a drowning something, but he should not get to live his life in prison. Albeit it's prison, you still get to breathe. You intentionally took a man's life for what? And you get to enjoy it. And then didn't it say he get parole at 15 or something?
See, once I saw that he was convicted or he was sentenced to 22 years, the first thing I said, well, he's gonna get out one day. So I mean, like, and if he, is on good, behavior, because some cops, they're gonna work their magic in the system. So yeah, if he on good behavior, he probably gonna get out in 15 to 13 years. So Yep, that's exactly it. And even if he wasn't on good behavior, Jared, we know he's gonna get out because he's a cop, and he's a white cop. Yeah. So that was trash. I'm happy he got something. I'm happy they gave him more than 10 years. Like they gave him a double-digit sentence, but he should have got life for the death penalty. He got off easy for sure. Yeah, he really did. How was your Juneteenth?
Juneteenth was good. I did some fireworks and I just got really high and drank all day.
Hey, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Hey, that was my Juneteenth too.
Hey, it's the best way.
Exactly. What's your plans? Any plans you got for 4th of July?
Preach. No, I don't know. I have plans because my boyfriend and his friends brought hella fireworks. So we gonna pop fireworks, but I told them I'm not participating in barbecuing. I'm not participating in going grocery shopping. We're not buying no red, white, and blue plates. We did Juneteenth. That was our 4th of July. Because Black people were still being sent on the front line in July 4th, okay? Mm-hmm. So no, but yes, unfortunately. Are you doing anything?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really have no plans right now. I'm gonna try to figure it out. And just how you just said it, because Juneteenth, when it came around last week, nothing but fireworks going off. Nothing but fireworks going off. And I was like, man, they are having some fun out there. They really are. I think I'm gonna go stick my head out the door. I was a little busy though, but I really understand what you're saying though. But you guys, man, for everybody who's listening to me on EB Radio and watching on YouTube, you guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, you guys. Yes, man, we gotta pay some bills. But when we come back on the other side, you guys, don't go nowhere. I got my guest, Helen, you guys, the host of Honestlyhelen Podcast, here with your man Dre on Wheels, man, chopping it up on the podcast. It's gonna be fun, man. Sit tight. You're listening, you're watching to the 1130 podcast. You dig?
Everyone has something to say, a story to tell. We make it easy to share yours. So let's talk.
Regardless of your podcast setup, hit record. And from there, whether your podcast reaches 10 people or 10 million, we can help you get heard wherever listeners are.
And who knows, maybe even quit your day job.
But no matter who hears you, it's about connecting and sharing something from your perspective.
It's about having a voice and using it without anything standing in your way. Say it all with Anchor.
When you rhyme from the bottom, then it feel more awesome. Don't be scared of us. Just approach with caution. 1130 podcast, nigga, is you watching from the city? DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Radio Wheels is the one. Let's get it.
Yo, you guys, welcome back here to the 1130 podcast here on EB Radio and YouTube. You guys, appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout the commercial break, man. It's been an exciting episode. My guest this week is joining me from the Honestlyhelen Podcast. Yes, Helen, man, here chopping it up with me here on the podcast. Before we get back into everything, you guys, a program note and a reminder here on EB Radio, you guys, don't forget to tune in tonight for the Notorious Moms Podcast, you guys, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. For everybody on YouTube, download the free EB Radio app right now. But you guys, man, we're going to move on here, you guys, on the 1130 podcast, you guys. It's time, you guys, for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Helen, each and every week on the podcast, I allow my guests to go first. Share a WTF moment of the week, or what the fuck moment of you may seen, heard, or a counter, or whatever. It don't even have to be on social media or whatever. But you want to go first if you have a WTF moment you want to share?
Oh man. I the only one I can think of that comes to my mind right now was the example that I just was talking about, where I saw that that screenshot of a Black woman and a white woman who did the drunk driving, and the white woman had a $4,000 bail and the Black woman had a $40,000 bail. And I just looked at it and I really was like, what the fuck? What are y'all, this, we didn't just see what happened to George Floyd. Like we just out here still giving out, like y'all can't even fake the funk. Y'all can't even pretend like y'all trying to make some difference. We still out here being wild. Yeah. I think that's the most recent one I can think of. But maybe yours might help jog another one. What's yours, Dre?
I'm gonna share mine though. But right, what you just said, a WTF moment to add to yours though, is when you get these mass murderers who commit these mass murderers, and the cops come in and they get them, and 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, they white, and they walking out with their arms behind their back, or being carried out, or got a bulletproof vest.
Yes.
So it's that's the difference between white America and Black America right there.
That is that let me give you some snaps on that one, because that's the truth right there.
That's the difference. But you guys, man, I'm gonna share my WTF moment, man. I got 2 of them, but it's crazy, man. Right here in DC last Thursday, man. Everybody was doing what they got to do, and not even too far from me, near the subway station, near the metro, a bridge collapsed. A bridge collapsed here in DC. It was word that some people speculated the bridge was old, and a lot of people made jokes here in DC that it's always something going on Bennett Road or Minnesota Avenue that they can't get no construction right. But a guy ran into the bridge or hit the bridge, and that's what called the bridge to collapse.
Coming in after a bridge collapsed onto a Washington, D.C. highway. The awful scene today, the bridge flattened, several cars destroyed, several people rushed to the hospital, in fact. Authorities believe it all happened when a truck slammed into the bridge. ABC's Rachel Scott tonight from the scene.
Tonight, authorities are investigating this terrifying scene. A pedestrian bridge collapsing onto one of the busiest highways in the nation's capital. Officials believe this truck slammed into the bridge, sending it crashing down. Drivers trapped in their cars, buried under the debris along I-295.
We had a collision with the bridge right here, which separated the bridge from its mooring. The result of that collision caused multiple cars to be involved.
At least 5 people were rushed to the hospital. Tonight, all expected to survive. You can see some of the mangled concrete and twisted steel that has collapsed right on top of that truck. All this shutting down 6 lanes of traffic. Deborah Tracy works in a residential home across the street. She was just steps away from the scene when she heard the crash.
I heard like a crunching, scraping sound, like nails on a chalkboard, then a boom. I'm just thanking God no one was killed.
Crews now racing to clear the wreckage and inspecting nearby bridges along the highway to make sure they weren't damaged by the truck.
Luckily, no one was hurt and everybody was safe and everything, but traffic was definitely backed up for a long, long time, man. I was trying to get some smoke and everybody was just like, yo, man, the bridge failed, bro. So I was like, well, damn you, bridge. For real, though. But other than that, a building, you guys, speaking of Florida, as we was talking about Florida earlier, the building in Miami, where a lot of residents were in and, at their homes and whatnot. And, I couldn't imagine being in this. Is still over 100 people are missing.
Right to the latest on that deadly building collapse in Florida overnight. Crews identifying the 4 people that were pulled from the rubble.
Sadly, not the news those families were hoping for. Search and rescue teams have been working all through the night to find survivors. Here's what we know right now. At least 9 people are confirmed dead.
And there are 152 people still missing this morning, with more than 400 search and rescue workers combing through that wreckage.
Good morning to you. And you have rescue teams quite literally living on site. Just across the street from where I am, you have temporary shelters set up for them. They are literally living here as a part of this 24/7 rescue operation. Unfortunately, over the weekend, it was more recovery. The number of dead confirmed has now gone up, and you have more and more families still waiting for word about their loved ones. And there's still a rescue operation, but as they're waiting for word about their loved ones, there are also so many questions about how this could happen in the first place.
Officials identified 4 more victims overnight. Among them, 26-year-old Luis Bermudez and his mother. As the desperate search for survivors enters its 5th day, this morning, crews and officials working around the clock, refusing to give up hope.
We just need a few more miracles each day.
The death toll climbed to at least 9 overnight, more than 150 still unaccounted for. Crews digging a trench 125 feet long, 20 feet wide, and 40 feet deep to help with the search. And rescue teams arriving from Israel and Mexico to support their operation. 6 to 8 squads scouring the massive destruction at any given time, pouring through the rubble left behind after this horrifying moment of collapse. This whole section of the Champlain Towers South now gone. 12 stories pancaking to the ground, the way the building collapsed, leaving some hope that voids or pockets of air could form in the rubble, large enough for someone to survive.
And a couple of people who have been, pronounced, dead now, but I don't know if you heard about that story, Helen. But,
you need to watch the news.
Yeah. No, you don't. No, you dumb. It's some crazy stuff. No, trust me. I catch some stuff. What? Yeah, I heard that a woman who I'm not too sure. I don't want to. She was maybe pregnant. Not too sure on that one, and she fell 12 stories. And I think the baby may have survived, or not. But people are still missing, and people are still calling in, and everybody.
That is a big what the fuck. What?
Yeah,
I can't believe. I think I saw the Miami thing briefly on social media. So not a building in Miami and a bridge in DC.
Yeah, bridge in DC. And then, once that happened in Miami, then they was talking about, well, is that possible? It can happen in DC. I'm like, why would you even put that in people's minds though? But hey, crazy times though, man. Crazy times.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. WTF moment.
Big.
I know. Big one. But you guys, we gonna move on here on the podcast. I follow you on social media. You say you love to sing. Do you like to sing? Do you think about singing?
I can't sing worth a dang, Dre. I'm just always listening to music. And for some reason, I can talk to myself, but when I know I'm making a video for Instagram, I feel like I have to be a little entertaining when I do it. And I think because I listen to music so much, me trying to sing just is like the first thing I can think of. I wish I could. If your girl could sing, we'd be set. This would be a singing podcast. We be making some money. No, I really think I just do it I don't get nervous, but to not make it so awkward when I record videos, because I really do talk to my camera like I'm talking to somebody, but then I realize I'm not talking to nobody. So I'm like, okay, let me bring it in. And I also feel like I want, God willingly, once my platform hits bigger audiences, I want people to really be able to watch those videos and as soon as they see my video, smile, because they know I'm finna open it up with some good vibes. And I think because I've gotten good feedback on that, it's just stuck with me. I wish I could sing. Sometimes I think I can carry a note though. On a good day, we can harmonize just a little bit, and then it fall off.
Hey, you put your mind to it. You can sing. You can get it. You can get the ball right.
Thank you. That's what I keep telling myself. If I just invest in maybe, a singing lesson or here and there, I might be able to. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's what's up. What you do on your free time when you're not podcasting?
I am traveling to the city to visit my dad and my grandma, or I'm traveling to Benicia to visit my niece and nephew, which I was going to do today, and then life happened, so I'm not. Or I am day drinking with girlfriends, or day drinking in bars with other friends. Really just hanging out. I normally am trying to hang out with people because during the week I'm working and then I edit my podcast afterwards. Or I'm trying to be a guest on somebody's podcast. So really just hanging out, chilling, drinking, the usual, nothing too crazy. I did go to the boardwalk yesterday, which was fun. So I did something, got outside.
What's your favorite drink to drink?
I just discovered whiskey sours. Whiskey sours. So when I first started drinking, it was Hennessy. I would take Hennessy like it was nobody's business. And then I went to Chicago one year and I got blackout drunk 2 nights in a row. And now the smell of Hennessy makes me want to throw up. So I had to find a different drink. And whiskey sour was introduced to me last year. And I said, oh, this can go. Or a gin and tonic. Because gin and tonics, you can drink a lot and don't get a hangover. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I cut back on a liquor a lot. I don't really
good.
Yeah, because man, brown liquor would have me talking about what happened last night. What happened? Oh my goodness, man. Hennessy. Oh man, like some Bacardi or man, I would be just woo.
Listen, I'm mad that nobody. You know how they say tequila is really tequila. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm mad nobody came up with something clever for Hennessy because Hennessy does something. Hennessy do something. It's a drink for real. It has you acting different.
Yeah, have you doing something strange? We gonna move on, you guys, on the podcast. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated on a daily basis?
Yes, good question. Honestly, I think just knowing that I am here for a reason and being reinforced through the videos I post, even at work, get reinforced at work, get reinforced with my family. And just knowing that usually when I'm just having a conversation with somebody, they normally tell me, dude, you called me at the right time. I really need to talk to somebody. Or girl, the video you just posted hella had me laughing and made me check myself. Or I listened to one of your shenanigans episode and I thought you was talking to me. So I think really realizing that I'm in my purpose and that I have matured into this woman that my mother could be proud of and prove a lot of her naysayers wrong. Like, y'all had all this to say about my mom when she was here because she was a difficult person. Look at her daughter. Look what I'm doing. So remembering that I am my mother's daughter and I have haters to prove. I got people to weigh that real prettily while I'm making my money and keeping it moving. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that I'm here for a reason and really, I think really since my mom passed is living my best life so that I'm showing the best representation of who she was as a mother has really been keeping me going these past 2 years for sure.
Hey, that's what's up. That's really cool. You gotta keep it going because the haters will, try to do as much as possible to try to, pull you back and just have them sitting right along with you, So
it's sad. It's amazing how I think that has been the most surprising thing is that you really do have people out here wishing on your downfall. I had some girl tell me that I was conceited just because I was very confident and I would go out with friends and want to take pictures with them. She's like, you're just so conceited. And I was like, that sounds like a hater. And I'm not going to let you make me feel like I'm conceited just because I know who I am. And when I'm out with my friends, I don't try and dumb myself down to fit in nowhere. So we ain't got time for haters, but they strong. They are out there.
They are. When you got someone who don't believe in themselves or who's not as confident, they'll try to tear you down because they don't know how to get that. They don't, they struggling within themselves, because they probably conceited or whatnot. So
just ask for help. Like, I don't get why you can't just say, hey, can you help me get to where you are? Yes, 100%. But you right. They tear you down instead.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you guys, we're going to move on here on the podcast. It's time, you guys, for the 1130 podcast hot seat. Helen, I got 6 questions for you. I'm going to ask you. You're on the hot seat. And you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. What is your biggest fear?
Ooh, my biggest fear is debt. My biggest fear is being broke. My biggest fear is needing to do something and not having the money to do it, or being in a bind because of how that stems from how I was raised. So surviving, like living a survival life terrifies me. Terrified. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, dancing in the mirror, get my mega knees to working and whatnot, and really talking is a big hobby of mine. And I just recently became a plant mom. So COVID forced me, I was tired of looking at myself all the time. So I was like, let me take care of something else. So now I water my plants. So talking. Is smoking weed a hobby? I do that a lot too now.
Okay, all right. I got a smoking weed buddy now. All right. I guess that's a hobby.
You gotta lie. Does that count?
You said dancing in the mirror to what song?
Oh, the Megan, the Cardis, the Nickies, the City Girls. Not a whole lot of City Girls. I can't. They a little too ratchet for me. Sometimes I can't get past the lyrics on the City Girls, and somebody's like, all right, girl, new song. Definitely a lot of twerculator going on in the mirror. Got to keep the knees strong. It's a good exercise,
Okay. You've been given an elephant. You can't get rid of it. What would you do with it?
I've been given an elephant. I can't get rid of it. I guess it's my pet now. Probably find a way to help it make me money, because I'm assuming somebody gonna tell me I gotta get rid of it, especially if I live in an apartment still. So I probably have to find a way to utilize it so I can keep it. So maybe some elephant rides. Maybe I agree to go to the farmer's market every weekend and just have an elephant parade through for entertainment. I would definitely find a way for it to make money for me, so somebody would be like, okay, I want an elephant too. Exactly. We all need elephants.
Yeah. Cars are going electric now. So, a couple of weeks ago, we had a gas shortage. So you want to get on this elephant?
Oh, yeah. See? Have you a spare elephant in that backyard? You don't need no gas. Come on, Billy, we got to go.
Exactly.
And listen, somebody get with you. He step on you, it's done. So you also got a weapon if you need it.
Do you have pets? Are you a pets person? Do you like pets?
I do. I don't have any though.
Okay. Okay. I would like a dog though. I'm trying to get a dog.
I want to get a gecko.
Okay.
I want to get a gecko. They come in a lot of cool colors too. So I'm looking into it.
Okay. If you can go back 5 years, what would you change about yourself?
Ooh.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. If you can go back 5 years, what would you change about your future?
Oh, about my future. Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, probably who my ex was. I probably wouldn't date him, so he would change my future. Seriously, probably some of the friends I had, because I think I invested too much in some friends instead of focusing on myself more and doing things to better myself. I was worried about bettering them because I felt like I was in a better position. So I put myself on pause. And then those friendships turned out not even to be real friends. So it kind of feels like a waste of time, but I hate to say that because nothing's a waste of time. It's just a lesson.
There you go. What's your biggest deal breaker in a relationship?
Oh, biggest deal breaker in a relationship. Romantic, I'm assuming.
Hey, romantic friendship.
Relationship in general, I would say lack of accountability. Because when I think about the friendships and the relationships that didn't work, it was due to me expressing how I felt and how their actions made me feel, and them choosing to blame me or say, okay, well, you do this, instead of being like, you know what, I see what you're saying, and maybe I could do something different. So when someone likes to shift blame, you can't be accountable. I can't, because then that means every problem we have is my fault. And then I get stressed out. Then you start to move differently within yourself. So accountability, if you don't got that, accountability and communication, or no, not communication, comprehension. Because a lot of people can listen, but they don't be comprehending shit. Excuse my French.
Don't understand nothing you saying, huh?
Listen, you be talking Spanish in their ears.
Okay. What would you do tomorrow if it was your last day on Earth?
Ooh, I would honestly probably spend it with all my loved ones making hella videos just so that they can look back on. Definitely spending it with loved ones. Probably just drinking, listening to music, smoking, eating. And, at the end of the day, that's what it is. But recording it, because I realized when my mom passed, sometimes we do get caught up in our phones way too much. We record everything and we're not in the moment. But when my mom passed, I realized it's okay to record some moments of that moment and then putting your phone away for the rest of the moment. So when they pass and you go back to that moment, you relive all of it, not just what you recorded, because that recording sparks the other memories from that day. So I realized documenting just small pieces of good moments in your life is amazing in the long run, especially if you unfortunately lose somebody. So recording my last days in all its beautiful glory.
Okay, that's a cool answer. Probably do the same thing, Probably try to make somebody laugh,
Yes.
My last day, I want to have them laughing so they can remember me in that cool way.
Yes, I second that 100%.
Yeah. Well, Helen, I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. It was an awesome time having you. You know you're welcome back anytime. But before you go, anything you would like to say? Any shout outs? Any questions you have for me?
I do want to ask you, how did you get into podcasting? Since we started around the same time, that's kind of dope.
Yeah, around the time that you started, my brother was kind of like around, and he was just like, like I said, I was just trying to figure out what to do, but I knew what I wanted to do, just trying to figure out how to do it. And he had a laptop, and of course at that time I didn't have money for no laptop, and or didn't have money for a laptop at all. My fiance was generous enough to see what I did with the first episode with her laptop, and she was just like, yo, just do what you gotta do. And I was just
yes, fiance, we love support. We love that. Hello.
Yeah, and I was just, just sitting there. He was just like, just do the podcast. He was doing it at first, but he was just like, just go ahead and do it. Just do it. And I just went with it. And, I think sitting, by myself for, a little time, just collecting some thoughts and just, getting, everything from God and just going for it. And ever since then, nonstop.
It's been beautiful. Well, I thank you for being open to having me on here, being flexible today with what we had going on. So thank you. And yes, I'm gonna have you on mine as soon as I figure out my schedule.
No problem. It was dope. You stay safe out there on the Cali. Keep doing your thing. You guys, don't forget, for everybody here who's listening on EB Radio, tune in each Monday, you guys, 9 a.m. 12 noon on the East Coast, you guys. The Honestly Helen podcast. You don't want to miss it. We got shenanigans. We got cool talk. She just been honest, man, for real. Don't forget and tune in, you guys. And also, Helen, before you go, tell the listeners and viewers where to follow you at.
Yes. Appreciate you, Dre. Appreciate you for the shout out as well. Follow me on Instagram, honestlyhelen_. That's really all I have for my Honestly Helen page. It's just my Instagram. You can follow my podcast on most of your podcast listening platforms. So Google, Apple, Podcast Addict, all the things, Anchor as well. honestlyhelen_ on Instagram. Go follow me.
Yeah, go follow her, you guys. Helen, once again, thank you once again for joining me this week on the 1130 podcast.
Thank you.
Yo, Helen, I appreciate you joining me this week on the 1130 podcast. It was an awesome time chopping it up with you and for you joining me here on the podcast this week. Yo, man, for real, that was really, really dope. I appreciate Helen. For everybody for watching on YouTube, go check her podcast out, the Honestly Helen podcast, where she's straight up honest, man, for real. Got some dope content there, you guys. And go follow her on social media, man. What an awesome show, man. Really, what an awesome show this was, you guys. Just want to remind everybody, this is episode 83. Last week, I ended the show and said episode 81. And we are on the countdown, you guys. Yes, we are on the countdown to the 100th episode of the 1130 podcast. Yes, you guys, we're going to be bringing it here on EB Radio and YouTube, you dig? Now, like I said, man, follow EB Radio on Instagram at EB Radio _. Follow the 1130 podcast on Instagram, you guys. Let me know what you think about the show. Who would you like to see be a guest here on the 100th episode of the podcast, man? And last week I had I threw it back to a cool episode that I had with my man Tyrone Dixon. I appreciate everything, my man Tyrone Dixon over at the Quality of Love podcast. You guys, but we're going to continue, you guys, next week, you guys, taking you back to some cool interviews, man, of the 1130 podcast that you may have not seen or heard here on EB Radio or YouTube. You did, if you ever went back to the catalog. But this was an awesome show, man. Really awesome show. And like I said, guys, once again, let me know what you guys think and who should be a guest. If you want to see Helen back here on the podcast, let me know. You want to see Bar back here, let me know, man. For real, it's going to be awesome, man. I hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday, man. There's some crazy times out there, especially that WTF moment, man. For real, that is crazy. That building in Miami, like, for real, man. It's crazy. And what happened in DC, man? Like, crazy times we living in, you guys. Really crazy times. But I hope everybody out there staying safe. The summer is upon us, man. I said last week, I know everybody over there in the West Coast, man, gotta be just burning up. For everybody who ain't familiar with it, like Helen said, man, it's like what, 87, 80 degrees there almost daily, man. That's the type of weather I am down for. You feel me? I do not want to be in a couple of months, it'll be fall. I ain't trying to think that far ahead though, but man, I do not like the fact that it be cold and stuff, for real. I'd hibernate to the California in the summer. But you guys, man, stay safe out there. Everything is starting to open up, back to normal. Everybody doing their part. Yo, man, it's been a long time. For real. Me and Bae trying to go to the movies. We're trying to, have some fun. We're trying to do our thing, man, for real. But yo, man, each and every week is always an honor. It's always a blessing. And it's always fun, man, chopping it up here on the podcast with each and every one of you guys. Also, you guys, the documentary, the docu-series has returned, you guys, this Sunday. Go check it out, you guys. Shout out to my mama, Miss Cherry. Shout out to my sisters, Tish, Antoinette, for being a part of the docu-series. Yo, man, check it out. One episode to go, coming this Sunday, you guys. 4th of July. Hope everybody shoot off the fireworks and do all that good stuff, man, for real. Juneteenth was actually the 4th of July around here not too long ago. But yeah, man, go check out the docu-series on YouTube. Like it, leave a comment, man. Tell me what you think and everything, for real. Run them views up, man. Tell somebody about the 1130 podcast. For real, everybody don't know about the 1130 podcast just yet, but we trying to get there. We trying to get up and out there. For real. But you guys, man, before I go, you know what time it is, man. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at Dre on Wheels. Follow me on Instagram at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. Subscribe. Yes, subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. You dig, man? Yes, I'll wait again this week, man. I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait, man. For real. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You gotta have some patience in life, man. For real. But subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube, you dig? And also, you guys, man, the 1130 podcast Talk Pro Wrestling, where I interview some of your favorite independent referees, ring announcers, you name it, you guys, all wrestling podcast personalities, man, each and every Friday on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, even on YouTube, you guys. So tune in each and every Friday. That's the 1130 podcast Talk Pro Wrestling, man. Yo, my man Edge is back. He returned last Friday on SmackDown to sort of go out to Roman Reigns, because you know Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, baby. So, man, SummerSlam is looking really good. So join me this Friday, you guys, for some Talk Pro Wrestling. If you would like to be a guest here on the podcast, email me. That's the1130podcast@gmail.com. Or just DM me on social media so we can work. You know how we get down, man. For real, I'm always looking to connect and just work with like-minded people, man, all across the world. Yo, what an episode, man. What an episode, man. Shout out to everybody in DC, the DMV. Shout out to everybody who's listening, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay blessed, stay safe. Give all the glory to God, man, because he's the Almighty, for real. He's the Almighty. Yo, it's your man Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.
Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me, it's Zodi Breeze. Smoking on that white diesel, got me high as two eagles. Riding with my fat butt bitch, we listening to the Beatles. A cool breeze when you fucking with the summer trees. It's Zodi Breeze on that late night tip, you know it's me. Some strawberry kush, your OG, I'm laid back, I'm chill. The apple juice on the side, to wash down the pill, nigga kill. I'm high as fuck, smoking on that Casey Jones, got a nigga stuck. Yeah, bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me, it's Zodi Breeze. Now what you know, purple Urkel got me moving slow. I done gave it to my bitch because the nigga ain't one no more. Super lemon haze got me well amazed. I've been eating snack for 3 days, watching the PJs. I forgot the shit was stuck on replay. Bitch, I'm faded, bubble cushion, palm trees. Man, it got a nigga thinking. I wanna move to the Cali life and start pimping. But I'ma relax because it is not in me. I'm simply who I'm gonna be. Relax when you with a real G. I'm the epitome of what you need to be. Smoking on the finest green, on my way to conduct business. Nigga with Mr. Chow Ming. I'm praying he confront me a fucking whole thing. We drinking apple juice, talking like we grown, man. It's sad I can't get it from my fucking own fam. Yeah, from my fucking own fam, nigga. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me. It's Zodi Breeze. Bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me, it's Zodi Breeze, bubble cushion, apple juice, and palm trees. Relax your feet. You're with me, it's Zodi Breeze. Let's ride. And I did what we had to do. Now it's time to get high. Roll that shit up. Let's get it. You know it.